This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL. However, we encourage you to like and share them on social media because it's time for Joanne's World of Nutrition. Brought to you by Nutrition World in the historic arcade building across from City Hall. US 1 between Orange Avenue and Avenue A in downtown Fort Pierce. And now, the host of the show. Are you ready? Don't be shocked. Joanne Seeger.
Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone's having a phenomenal day. Yes. Oh, wow. When you change your name, you don't realize how much stuff you have to do afterwards. Oh, the driver's license, the social security card, the credit cards, the business licenses. Holy moly. Yep. I'm
and then
embarking
you got to
on that.
remember it, too.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So let's just say I'm going a little slow with all that, but... Well, today's going to be an awesome show. I can't wait to introduce my guest today. But first, we must start with the breathing exercise. So actually, you know what? I'm going to introduce our guest so she can join us in on the breathing exercise. So everyone, this is a very special guest. I often get asked at the store for this specialty, and unfortunately for a long time now our county hasn't, St. Lucie County has not had someone that is accessible in especially the Fort Pierce, Port St. Lucie area. So this is Katie Ansley with us today from Thermography of Brevard. Oh my gosh, can't even say that county's name. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be on here with you.
Oh, thank you so much. So, Katie, what we do every Thursday morning on the show is we do just a quick breathing exercise with all the listeners so they can be focused and ground and get all the junk of the morning traffic out of their minds and all the craziness of life. So would you like to join us with that?
Oh, yes.
Awesome. Okay, so what we do is we do a quick exhale, all the drama out, and then we do inhale through our nose for 5, we hold for 5, and then slowly exhale through our nose for 5 as well. And Cliff, he's become, after all these years, he's an expert about counting to 5 3 times. So,
So I had a lot of kids, and they all had 5th birthdays.
There you go. There you go. All right, so you ready?
Stand by.
All right.
Exhale.
Okay, everyone exhale. Here we go.
Okay. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 2, 3, 4, 5. Again. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That felt amazing as always. Katie, how'd that feel for you?
Oh, great. I needed it.
Yeah, right?
Well, if you need a quick meditation, folks, got a minute?
There you go.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. Just start with that minute. Well, any newbies listening, welcome to the show. We really appreciate your time with us. And if you're just driving in and out of your car, we appreciate any time you spend with us. And Katie, we're going to try to repeat some of the information because a lot of our listeners, unfortunately, like in and out of work in their vehicles. So we don't want them to miss any of the important stuff. So we might repeat ourselves a few times, okay?
That sounds good.
Awesome. All right. Well, again, this is Katie Ansley on the show with me this morning, and she is a thermographer, and her company's name is Thermography of Brevard. And so today we're going to be discussing thermography. And it is a new world to maybe some of my listeners, so we're going to cover all the basics. And I had the amazing... oh gosh, I'm getting tongue-tied today, of meeting Katie just recently, and she did a session with me, and the findings were really eye-opening, and I'm just so glad that we made this relationship. And so she will be at the store on January 25th. doing sessions there at the store, and she has a special as well. So we're going, Katie, I would love for you to give out your website right now and your phone number in case people need to jot it down and head to work. So that way they can at least look on your website and call you for more information about your visit to the store. So can you give your website and phone number out, please?
Yes, of course. It's thermographyofbrevard.com. I'll spell it out. It's thermographyofbrevard.com. So thermographyofbrevard.com. And the phone number is 321-312-0363.
Awesome. Thank you. Now, some of my listeners might be like, thermography? What is thermography? So how about if you can tell us what it is and how you decided to have that as a career?
Sure. Thermography is a digital infrared thermal image. It's abbreviated DITI, Digital Infrared Thermal Image. And what a thermography scan does is it takes a picture of the skin and it detects the heat patterns on the skin surface. And every organ throughout the body has a thermal pattern on the skin surface, and that's presented through the sympathetic nervous system. So the thyroid, the kidneys, the adrenals, the liver, the colon, all the way down, they have a thermal pattern on the skin surface through the sympathetic nervous system. Thermography detects those heat patterns and can show where there is dysfunction in the body. And the way I got into it was 6.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was 33 years old. I had 3 small children and no family history. So it was quite a shock. I'd had a mammogram, and the mammogram did not detect my tumor. The mammogram was about a year prior. I don't know why, just a routine visit with the doctor. She wanted one. Nothing showed. And a year and a half later, I found a lump myself. And I went through the whole process again of a mammogram, ultrasound, biopsy, and it was confirmed that it was breast cancer. And at that point, it was 5 centimeters, which is, about the size of a quarter. It's pretty large. I had to have a mastectomy. I did choose chemo at that time. That's a whole other long story. My options were limited. And when I was done with all my treatment and surgeries, they said, okay, you're done. I said, well, aren't we going to test to see if I'm actually clear, if it worked? Is there a PET scan, MRI, something? And they said, no, you're good. I was like, so you're going to cut me up and poison me and then say I'm fine without doing any further testing? So I took it in my own hands, and that's when I learned about thermography. And I had to travel far to get a scan done because there was no one close to me. And I said, man, this is an amazing screening tool. This offers so much value to being proactive about your health and taking care of your body and preventing disease and monitoring it. So that started my passion to pursue it, and it took a few years, but I now own and operate Thermography of Brevard, and I go all over. I'm not just limited to Brevard. I even do scans out in California.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that. That's super cool. Well,
Yeah.
I am, your story is extremely impressive because I believe when people choose their careers from a passion, it really fuels them to really help others and really educate themselves. Like, you sound so well versed on the body, which I imagine before you got diagnosed, maybe that wasn't the case.
Correct.
Sometimes, we're led to really discover what's under the skin, so to say.
Right.
A lot of people these days, sometimes they don't even know what the organ systems are, and it's because it's not important to them. And I get that. If someone asked me what football teams are in the playoffs. I had no idea where others, it's basically they're consumed by that knowledge. So,
Right.
well, I am so glad you decided to take that path because you definitely are, a perfect fit for that job. I felt so comfortable with you. And
Thank you.
it's definitely like some of my customers that I have been telling about your visit, they're like, oh my gosh, well, what does she have to do? Like, do I sit in like a tunnel thing? Or so can you tell the listeners really like what a visit would be like if they came to visit you?
Sure. A lot of people are nervous because mammograms squish and compress the breast tissue, and it's painful. It can cause bruising and swelling and redness and a lot of discomfort. Other people have a fear of being in small, tight places like an MRI, and they're claustrophobic. And so a lot of people come to me with fears. But to put all those at ease, what you do is you come into a safe, secure, peaceful room where there's a stool, like an office stool that spins, and you sit on that. And the camera is actually up on a tripod on wheels, and it's a couple feet away from you. The closest it ever gets is maybe 3 feet away from you. Nothing touches you, nothing squishes you, nothing invades your privacy. You sit on the stool, and you do have a gown on to keep yourself covered. However, the area that is being imaged, you do have to move the gown around because the imaging cannot go through clothing or hair or jewelry. So we do have you remove all of that because that will block the picture. It covers the skin. So you will have to remove the gown and expose the area that's being imaged. But then I can let you cover back up so you don't have to sit there fully exposed the whole time. And I just do the imaging with the computer, and I have a software program connected to my computer. You are able to see the images, and you can see the different colors. You can see how it looks. However, I cannot go over and explain it with you because I'm not trained in that. We have board-certified practicing medical doctors who are trained in thermography to be interpreters, and I send the images to the doctors, and they write a detailed report. I don't go over the findings because that is not my specialty, and that's not what I'm trained in. So I do the imaging.
I can speak from experience. When I got my report, it's very, very easy to understand. It is well written, and so, like you said, at least get that starting point. And if there aren't any red flags, is that something someone would do? If there is no risk and there's no red flags, is that something someone would do once a year, once every 5 years? How often would they do a thermography session?
Well, when we talk about the full body, the first imaging is sufficient. That shows where there's dysfunction. And for the full body, we do recommend yearly scans. Some people choose to do it every other year. That can just help them keep track of what's going on internally with their organs and their body system, inflammation and autoimmune issues, and just kind of keep an eye on their whole system. However, the breast is a little bit different. We do recommend that you establish a baseline. And the way that you do that is you have your first scan done of the breast, whether it's breast only or full body. The full body, of course, includes the breast. And we have that first imaging done, and then we recommend that you come back in 3 to 4 months to do just the breast. The breast tissue is unique. It's different than the rest of the body, and breast cancer cells double every 90 days. And so having that baseline, that follow-up in 3 to 4 months will show the doctors what your thumbprint of your breast tissue is. Your thumbprint should never change, right? That's same with the breast tissue. It shouldn't change. When there are changes in the breast tissue, that indicates that there's a problem or that there's at risk of developing something in the future. So they need to see what your normal patterns are for those 90 days, 90 to 100 days. And after that baseline is established, then after that, it's annual comparison. From that second one, the baseline, the first time that you do it, the first and the follow-up in 3 months, that's only one time that you have to do that. Every annual one is just, one time. You don't have to come back in 3 months after that. Does that make sense?
That totally makes sense. And what a great reference point, because they have shown in recent studies, which I always believe, that it is completely about prevention to keep your body free of disease. And this tool, I think I was reading online that it could be like up to 10 years earlier detection than most medical scans that are being done today. And as far as like different thermal readings, is that correct? Katie, you can tell me if I'm wrong. It's all good.
Well, for the breast, yes. This thermography can detect breast cancer cells, the cellular changes, the physiological changes in the breast tissue 8 to 10 years before those cells would even multiply to form a mass that would be large enough to be seen on a mammogram, ultrasound, or MRI. Because
That's incredible.
Right? So a mammogram, an MRI, ultrasound, it's looking for a structure. Something has to be there. There has to be a mass there. So those cells have to grow and they have to multiply and they have to have a blood supply feeding them because they have to have a source of life. And so the blood flow increases and all of that shows up in the thermal image. So you can see those changes years before anything would ever show up on a conventional screening. And when you get it at those cellular levels, you can change it, you can reverse it, and you can prevent getting breast cancer down the road.
What motivation, right, to really make some changes, you know? It's like,
right.
Yeah. Well, you know, when I went in, you know, I had a concern, this particular spot, and there did show up a moderate risk factor in that exact spot. And so I urge listeners not to let fear stop you from getting, you know, doctor visits in general or seeing a thermographer. It really, like, I was just worried and you know, I intuitively knew something was going on. And when I saw Katie, not only, even though it got flagged, it actually gave me such peace of mind that it was so early that if it is anything, which we'll find out in 90 days, then it's like I'm in control of the situation. I'm not, you know, sitting back and just like rolling dice. So I just, you know, I really do like that peace of mind, but I have to admit that sometimes, you know, we let fear stop us from making these appointments. So I definitely urge people to check Katie out and come visit with her. If you call her or go on her website, you'll get more details about making an appointment at Nutrition World. But I urge you, it's extremely affordable. I think her prices are very fair. Like she said, she makes you feel very comfortable. No one's going to touch you. No one's going to squish you, which I had, I think I told you, Katie, when I was doing the in vitro, 7 mammograms they made me do for each procedure. And it was horrible, each time more painful than the last. And they would keep calling me back, you know, and, oh, it's nothing. You just, you know, your tissue this, your tissue that. And it was horrible. and so with yours, it's definitely, I mean, I think we were done in like 20 minutes, maybe 25, right?
Right. For the breast scan, I allot 30 minutes. That way you're not rushed, and that way we can go over all your medical history, family history, and any information like that. But the actual imaging is maybe 5 to 7 minutes. It's super fast. You know, for people on a tight schedule, I can get them in and out super fast.
In a lunch break.
Right. But I don't ever want anyone to feel rushed, so I do allot 30 minutes for the breast, and I allot an hour for the full body. It's not because it takes that long. It's just to give everyone the time and consideration that they need.
Okay, great. Before we go over why someone would choose a full body versus a breast scan, I do want to put your website information out there once more and the phone number. Can you do the honors for that?
Sure. It's thermographyofbrevard.com, Thermography of Brevard. Brevard is BREVARD. So thermographyofbrevard.com, 321-312-0363. You can call or text that number.
Awesome. Thank you, Katie. We are going to take a really short break, and we come back, everybody. We're going to talk about why you would choose thermography, the advantages, and the difference between doing a breast scan and a full body. So stay tuned, and we will be right back.
Back in 2.5 minutes with more Joanne's World of Nutrition.
Hey, it's Dr. Ravi at Tradition Family Chiropractic. We are dedicated to serving you and your family with integrity, compassion, and innovative care through the most advanced chiropractic care ever in chiropractic history, encouraging your health and your family's health to its maximum potential on a regular basis. Call us today at 772-345-0060 or schedule online at traditionhealth.com for your free consultation.
Guiding the Treasure Coast in health, one person at a time. That's their motto at Joanne's Nutrition World, Suite 121, in the historic Arcade Building on US 1, downtown Fort Pierce. Joanne brings more than 25 years of experience in the natural health industry, right here to you. Take advantage of this free personal guide to wellness and good health. Meet with Joanne herself and get started. Nutrition World always provides you with the hottest new product lines, natural and homeopathic remedies, herbals, and best of all, expert advice from the people who care. Call Joanne at 464-3598, 464-3598, and learn the correlation between diet and great health. Stop in today. The expert guidance to health is always free at Nutrition World. Nutrition World, Suite 121 in the Arcade Building, US 1, downtown Fort Pierce.
Staying healthy is hard work. There's exercise and eating right. We need to drink more water and get more sleep. Wouldn't it be great if there were just one small thing, something simple and healthy and natural that could make a big difference in our lives? Well, there is. It's called Cell Power, and it's the easiest all-natural supplement that I have ever tried. Cell Power for more oxygen. That helps my exercise and my sleep. Cell Power for better absorption. Now my food and vitamins, minerals, and herbs can get to the cellular level. I'm adding Cell Power to my daily routine. It's a small thing that will make a big difference. Cell Power is available at all the best health food stores and natural health clinics. For more information, call toll-free 1-877-CELL-POWER. That's 1-877-CELL-POWER. You'll love it, guaranteed, or your money back. Ask for Cell Power today at your local health food store. Remember, Cell Power.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie.
Remember, ask for Cell Power at Joanne's World of Nutrition. Speaking of which, let's go back to Joanne's World of Nutrition on the radio right now with Joanne Seeger. Gotta get used to that.
I know, I have to get used to it too. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for listening this morning. We are discussing thermography on today's show, and we have the thermographer, Katie Ansley from Thermography of Brevard. I had the pleasure of being one of her clients just about a month ago, and she is going to grace Nutrition World with visits or take appointments for January 25th, which is next Friday. And so you can call her or visit her website and make an appointment or to ask her any questions. But we are going to try to cover all possible questions on today's show so you can get a really clear understanding of what thermography is and if you should try it out or why you should try it out. So, Katie, this is, and by the way, you are natural on the radio. You have a really good way of explaining everything. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
So far, you've definitely touched on a lot of subjects that I wanted to bring up. One of the ones I definitely want some of the listeners to understand. So besides the early detection and the fact that, someone's not going to be so invasive to your body, what would the other advantages of thermography be, like, especially with the equipment like safety versus, say, MRI scans or other type of scans?
That's a great question, and that is one that I love to cover because, as we know, we are getting radiated everywhere. Just walking outside, there's radiation from cell phones and cell phone towers and equipment, and we're just constantly exposed to radiation. Now, we can't fly anywhere without being checked and radiated, and our bodies should not be exposed to that much radiation. It's very harmful, and everywhere you go in the medical field, they want to radiate you. Mammograms have radiation. And it just, to me, baffles my mind that they're going to use something that is so harmful to you to try to detect something so harmful. So thermography is completely safe. It is radiation free. It's like taking a digital picture with your phone or your camera. There's no harm in it. You can take pictures while you're pregnant. You can take pictures of your newborn, and it's completely safe. It's the same thing with thermography. It is a digital infrared thermal imaging. It's a camera that takes pictures of the radiation that your body emits. So your body is sending off heat patterns, and those heat patterns shows where there's dysfunction throughout the body, and our camera is picking up those images off your skin surface. So it is safe. It's not going to hurt you physically, and it's not going to harm you long term by exposing you to radiation or anything harmful.
That's perfect. So someone standing next to you doesn't have to wear one of those big, heavy gray coats to protect themselves. Yeah, I always love that, when I would bring one of my kids in for an exam, and they're like, okay, can you put on this big red coat so we can see if his arm is broken? I'm like, okay, so what are you putting into his arm then?
Right.
I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's super cool. And it's kind of, when I learned more about thermography, I understood why you give really detailed instructions before the visit, not to get a massage, obviously not to exercise, not to go in a sauna. So because that will obviously disturb the thermal images.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, anything, a chiropractic adjustment, acupuncture treatment, a massage, vigorously exercising, like you said, a sauna, anything that raises your core temperature or changes your blood flow in your body is going to give different thermal images, and it won't be accurate. So we have to let your body regulate. We have to let it adjust. So we do not want you to wear lotion. We don't want you to wear perfume. And deodorant's okay. It's better if you don't, because then you can see the lymph nodes if they're congested in the nerves. But some people forget and they wear deodorant, and that's not going to mess it up.
Okay.
It's better if you don't, but it's not going to mess it up if you do. But so no lotion, no perfume, and none of those other things that could disturb your body's regular blood flow and the thermal patterns on your skin surface. So when someone comes in for an exam, I do have them change into a gown first to let their body regulate, because when you wear clothes, your pants, push in your stomach, your bra compresses your breast, and so all of that needs to come off. All that skin just kind of needs to relax, regulate, and adjust to the room's temperature. And so then when they're in the gown sitting there, that's when I go over all the medical history and all that, letting the body relax and regulate.
That makes sense. And Katie, I'm just curious, like right now we are unfortunately getting so many people that have colds and flus. I even woke up unfortunately with some sinus congestion. And would that affect, so say someone makes an appointment with you on for next Friday on the 25th, and they really want to see you, but they wake up feeling like just a cold coming on. Would that affect anything?
If they're just having a breast scan done, a cold is not going to affect the thermal imaging on the breast tissue. If we're doing a full body where they want their face to be imaged, to look at the sinuses, to look at the lymph congestion and all of that, it's going to show up that they have a cold and maybe not be as detailed, giving them the information of what else could be wrong, because that cold is going to take over those images. So for that section, if someone's concerned about their sinuses, the lymph areas in their face, allergies, TMJ, dental, periodontal concerns, if that's a factor that they really want to stay on top of and they have a cold, I would recommend they wait. But a cold in general is not going to mess up the thermal imaging for the breast.
Okay.
However, a fever will. So if someone has an achy body, a fever, chills, first of all, I don't want to be around them.
I was going to say, stay home, please.
Stay home. I don't want your germs. But those would skew the imaging, and the results would be skewed. Interesting fact, our company, I'm with Metatherm, and we are international. We have thermographers and doctors in Europe and South Africa, Asia, South America, all over the world. And our company, and our cameras and our doctors were actually called out to other companies to go to the airports to do thermal imaging of people coming in from countries that had bird flu and SARS and all those other awful diseases. It was a screening tool in the airport before they let them through immigration.
Wow. That is really interesting. Well, I definitely feel like right now, I would definitely detect, obviously, all this congestion. And I'm just curious for all the different colors. I was trying to watch you when you were taking the pictures, and then, when I saw the results, and I've been researching online. Could you go over with the listeners, just in general, like what colors are what we want to see and what colors we really don't want to see, and how that works?
Right. Well, it really depends on the part of the body. Everyone's afraid of the warmer colors. So the color scale goes blue is cold, green is cool, then yellow, orange, red, and white is actually the hottest. So everyone, when they see red, they really get nervous, and they say, oh, no, it's red. That's bad. What's wrong? What's wrong? It depends. If there's red in the clavicle area, that's perfectly normal. That's just a warmer area of the body. Red under the breast tissue, the skin on skin always creates warmth there. That's not an indication that there's something wrong. Everyone thinks, oh, look, it's blue. That's wonderful. Well, on the back of the neck, on the T2 area, blue there indicates that their body is fighting itself and they are at risk for autoimmune disease. So in that area, cool is not good, but warm is better. Same with gastrointestinal, the stomach area. The cool colors, I have people say all the time, oh, look, my stomach's blue. That's great. No, your stomach should be warm. Everything should be working properly. Your digestive system and your colon and your bowels should all be working, which creates heat. So a good imaging there would be a warmer color, yellow, orange. Red's not necessarily super bad. So it depends on the area of the body, which color we want to see.
I can see why you send these images off.
Right.
I mean, that is really that is a lot of information in just that 30 seconds you were speaking about it. I mean, that's if you're going to cover a full body scan in all those different colors, wow. But for the breasts, I know a lot of listeners right away are like, okay, especially my females, breast. So what color would be considered bad there?
Well, like I said, the imaging goes from your clavicle to under the breast. It includes the underarms. It's basically a 360-degree image starting at the front of the breast all the way around. So we get the underarms, we get the back, we get the side views, and the front views. And there are some areas on the body that are normally warmer. The clavicle area, like I mentioned, sometimes under the underarms is warm, and under the breast. So that's not an indication that anything is concerning. Blue and greens are good in the breast area. However, I've had some people that are splotchy. They have some green and yellow and then some orange spots all over. And I don't want them to look at the image and go, oh, no, that's concerning. That's just their breast tissue. And they're just splotchy. I don't know why. Maybe they're fibrocystic. Maybe that's just the way their body's tissue is. The doctors have the software program and the training and the knowledge, and they know that. I can look at something and go, oh, this looks splotchy and bad because it's not all blue and green. But actually the report comes back at low risk and everything's fine. So I don't want someone to look at the image and freak out just because it might have some warmer colors. Obviously, the colors we want to see are blue and green because those are the cooler colors. It shows that there isn't thermal heat there that could be created by tissues and cells that are changing and increased vascularity. But I don't want anyone to look at it and freak out if they are splotchy or something like that, because that's not always a warning sign.
So once again, get that first image and then do a comparison image at least 90 days afterwards. That's definitely the moral of that story.
Right. And not to look at it and be worried. If I've had a lady who came in and she had inflammatory breast cancer, and inflammatory breast cancer will not be detected with a mammogram. It is basically skin cancer on the breast. And by the time you're symptomatic of it, it's really late. But thermography can detect that. And so in this lady's case, her imaging came up and the one breast was bright red and the other one was blue. It was obvious there was a concern. She knew it coming in, so it wasn't a surprise looking at it. It was very hard for me. I did get choked up because I knew what it meant. But, in a situation like that, yes, that's obvious. And there are some obvious cases. But I just say as overall warning, don't look at it and be nervous if you see red, even though red is an indicator that something is going on. We don't know what it is.
Right.
So
but again, it's definitely something to start, doing the proper steps to figure it out.
Right. Why I say that, not to look at it and freak out. Wait till your report comes back and what the doctors say, and then take those steps from there. And, if it comes back good, keep doing what you're doing to support your body to prevent disease. If it comes back at some risk, take action to support your body to prevent it from growing and continuing down that road, and to stop it and reverse it.
Definitely. And what I love too is that I only had to wait 3 days to get that report back. And you know what I love too, and remember I asked you about this, I'm like, I used to hate when you had to wait for that nurse to call and all she would tell you after test is, oh, you need to come back right away. That's all that you got from a mammogram afterwards. It's like, oh, you need to come back right away. Like you were dying within the next 48 hours. And so I love that. In 3 days, that's all you had to wait, not a week, not 10 days, and you get a very detailed email. So I was very thankful for that. It wasn't like these fearful games, Ugh,
Right.
Hate those.
Right. And everything's written on there. The doctors write what the findings are and what recommendations for follow-up is. So you don't sit there and go, well, I'm at some risk. What should I do?
Exactly. That's what I mean. It was so detailed. I've never gotten that type of information from the other world. But so Katie, some of the listeners might just be tuning in. Could you let them know your company name and phone number? So they might be like, wow, this information sounds so cool, but what are they talking about?
Hi, where can I find it? Sure. I'm Katie Ainsley with Thermography of Brevard. It's thermographyofbrevard.com, and the phone number is area code 321-312-0363.
And she will be at Nutrition World in downtown Fort Pierce, January 25th. She is taking appointments herself, so you can call the store if you forget the phone number, and I'd be happy to give you her number. But she will be making all her own appointments to make sure you have the accurate information of how to prepare for your visit and the cost depending on which type of scan you choose, which leads into, so somebody's like, well, I know I'm definitely concerned about getting a breast scan, but why would they get a full body?
Right. Well, full body is literally from head to toe. We cannot do the brain and we cannot do prostate for males. But other than that, we do all the other skin surfaces, so your face all the way down to your toes. And the full body gives a total body screening. So you can monitor what's going on with your sinuses, with skin cancer, if you have TMJ, dental and periodontal issues. You know what's really cool about the mouth area? It can show root canal integrity or loss of integrity. And I've had some scans come back that show that they need to go get their root canal checked because it is leaking toxins into their body, and it's seeping down through their lymphatic system and just basically going through their whole body.
Holy
And that is
moly, Katie.
very
Are you
dangerous.
serious?
Yes.
Okay, I had no idea. And let me tell you, I have a really good friend and customer. His name is Michael. He owns a jewelry place downtown. And he was just here at my store yesterday, and we were talking about that because we both, from childhood, making some bad choices, but I'll totally blame my parents on this one. I luckily I don't have any dental work, but just the cavity kind of thing going on. But he did, and we were talking about how when you try to do things to help remove heavy metals, there's the danger of releasing them too quickly, and the brain and this and that. So this would be a great tool to see if it's really happening.
Right. Yes, it is
Wow.
amazing. I have people say, well, I go to the dentist every 6 months. I get my cleaning. I'm checked. I'm good. And then they get their scan done, and the report shows that there are some dental or periodontal issues, some beginning stages of periodontal issues in their gums that is not detected yet just by an exam. And root canal integrity, if it's loss of integrity and that it's, causing inflammation in their lymphatic system and in their jaw. And, oral health is an indication of your total body health. So it's really important to
Yeah,
have that.
major links between oral health and heart disease now. I mean, beyond a
Mhm.
shadow of a doubt, they say the two are related.
And
Um,
breast cancer.
wow. Okay. Well,
Mhm.
all right. Well, in 90 days, I'm going to have a full body scan. So just put me down now. I mean, oh my gosh, I'll have to have my last Tito's and club soda before I go in for that one. Oh, boy. And what I loved about you, too, is that you are well versed in health now. And I know that, um, you have made different choices since you originally found out about your breast cancer. And do you feel now with the thermography, like everyone always says, gosh, if I only knew what was happening inside my body, like what is going on, then I would know what to do. Do you feel like this is a good enough tool? Because I don't know of any other that's better, that can really give people the motivation to make some better choices?
Oh yes, for sure. When a full body scan's done, like I said, we go face to toes, and it can detect inflammation, systemic inflammation, uh, pre-diabetic changes, insulin resistance, thyroid dysfunction before it would show up on blood work, adrenal fatigue, autoimmune issues. So people can see I'm at risk for developing an autoimmune disease. I don't want to come down with fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue or MS or something that could really, you think of autoimmune disease and you just see these people and they're suffering chronically and it's awful. So if you're at risk for that and your body's fighting itself, and your scan shows that, I think that's huge motivation to make some major changes because you're feeling good now. You're not bogged down by all these symptoms that you would have if you develop this autoimmune disease. So now is the time to support your body and to strengthen it and get with a functional medicine doctor and take your herbs and take your supplements and exercise and de-stress and oxygenate your blood and do all these things to support your body to reverse that so that you can stay living healthy and well and have the energy just to live a full, happy life.
Wow, you should be a part-time motivational speaker, Katie. You're awesome. But,
Well, I've been through it. I've been through cancer, and I don't want anyone else to go through that or anything similar that can just knock them off their feet. I mean, it was like your world got turned upside down. And I don't want anyone else to go through that. It doesn't have to be cancer. It can be autoimmune disease. It could be adrenal fatigue. It can be gastrointestinal issues that really stops you from living your full life. And you don't have to suffer. You can find out what's going on with your body and make those changes before it happens. And you can still live a full, happy, healthy life
wow,
by preventing it.
that sounds beautiful. And of course, my amazing husband texted me during the show, and you just brought it up again. So he would like to know if someone is suffering from, say, acid reflux or any really of those digestive disorders, would it be beneficial for them if, say, they maybe abstain from food for a day or so before the test to get a clearer image? Would that have any
Nope.
pro or con?
Nope, that actually doesn't affect it, because if you're having gastrointestinal issues or esophageal, if there is problems with your esophagus or irritation or GERD or reflux, those thermal patterns are going to be there because it's going to show that those systems are dysfunctioning. They are not working well. There is a problem. And so regardless of if you've eaten and having stomach issues or not, it's going to show up. Those thermal patterns are still present.
Okay. Yeah, he loves fasting because it's the time that he feels the best with his digestive system if he doesn't put in food. So I think that's why he's asking. So Katie, I do have a question. So some customers aren't sure if their indigestion is coming from a flap that's not closing properly or just from the acid erosion or inflammatory process of the esophagus. Does the scan show that? Does that get picked up?
It is not a diagnostic tool. It's a screening tool to show where there's dysfunction. It's not a diagnostic tool to say it is this that is not working properly. You need to have a corrective surgery to fix this, or you need to eliminate food for this. It's a screening tool, so it's going to show that something isn't working properly, and based on the thermal patterns, it's the doctors will make their interpretations on that. So yes and no. To answer your question, yes and no. It could very well on that person show up that, it's the flap and it's not working well, and that thermal pattern's presented and that's in the report. Maybe not. It might just show that they have esophageal irritation. So I can't really give you a clear answer.
Well, but that actually is pretty clear because, I think that once again, if someone, I don't know, I just feel like a lot of people wish they could look inside, and scoping does have its negatives too. Sometimes, putting a scope down your throat. I mean, my sister, she was scoped, and unfortunately, the technician messed up very badly, and now that scar tissue is life and death for her yearly now, and it's really destructive to her life. And so, this definitely thermal imaging is, to me, the safest, most non-invasive and affordable. I don't like, telling Katie's prices online, but I definitely know in comparison that she's extremely affordable, and she is doing specials for my listeners for the January 25th visit. So definitely give her a call at 321-312 0363, because I have a feeling that, how many clients will you be able to take that day, just to give the listeners an idea of, because you might book pretty fast after, because there's only so many hours in the day, right? So
there are, right. Yes. Well, being a Friday, I can stay later. I am in Brevard County, so it's a drive. So I'm not going to be able to get there super early.
Yeah, because she has 5 kids, everybody. After she mentioned 3, but she had 2 more after the breast cancer. So 5 little ones. Holy moly. Okay.
So I am a little crazy busy, but I'm thinking I can get down there and start at 10, and I can actually go pretty late because I have a wonderful husband who can take care of the kids in the afternoon and evening. So,
wonderful.
We can fit a bunch in.
Okay, great. Well, I know that I hope Matt, he knows that he's going to be coming in, so he's definitely going to be one of your appointments. Okay, great. So everyone definitely, call Katie and make your appointment for either the breast or the full body. I'm definitely going to do a full body in another 90 days to have see the difference between my first visit. And again, so Katie, you were talking about like how you had to expose yourself, the areas that you're taking the pictures of, and it's very quick. I know, like you said, the actual imaging is only 5 minutes, for the breast area. So if they were doing a full body, would they wear undies, or are they naked down there?
They can keep their underwear on.
Okay.
Please, men, keep the boxers on. I don't want.
Yeah.
Some women are comfortable with taking their panties off and just getting, a clearer image for their ovary areas and uterine areas. And that's fine with me. It's based on your comfort level, but you are most definitely able to keep your underwear on. We might have to move them or, push them down or move them around, but you can stay covered there, but the bra does have to come off.
Okay, that makes sense, definitely. All right, yeah, I just wanted to clear that up in case, I get any phone calls later about, I don't want to be naked in your office. All right.
No.
So panties will be on. All right, and then what about as far as you mentioned, I'm not sure if you're comfortable about talking about this on air, that if someone feels that money is a little tight right now after the holidays, there is for females that are doing breast exams a couple online websites that could help them.
Yes, there is a great grant program through the United Breast Cancer Foundation, and they will reimburse for a portion of the breast scan. You do have to go online to ubcf.org. So U for United, B for breast, C for cancer, F for foundation, ubcf.org. And there's a online application you can fill out. They do ask for a $5 application, and they call it Pay It Forward. It's an application fee. And you pay that $5, you fill out the application, and they will email you the amount that they'll reimburse you. So you will have to still pay up front to me, and then I give you a detailed receipt to submit, and they will reimburse you directly.
Okay, that is wonderful news. So if you are feeling a little strained after the holidays and you're a female looking for a breast exam, and Katie, correct me if I'm wrong, but breast cancer in men, I thought I did hear of the incidence of it, but very low. Is that still true?
It is very low. There is a small percentage of men who do develop breast cancer. It is low. However, thermography could detect it in men as well. The United Breast Cancer Foundation will reimburse for men for a breast screening as well.
They're not taking sides. Awesome. Well, Katie, believe it or not, the hour has flown by. And oh my gosh, thank you so much for being on. And I can't wait to see you next Friday, January 25th at the store. And you have an awesome week.
Thanks for having me, Joanne. I appreciate it.
All
My
right.
pleasure.
Take care, Katie. Thank you so much, everybody. Oh, my gosh, I love her, and I hope everyone tries to make an appointment. We're going to try to make it a regular thing, so if she has enough bookings, we can keep this maybe like as a once-a-month visit for her. So thank you so much for listening, everyone.
You've been listening to Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World across from City Hall in Fort Pierce, US 1 between Orange Avenue and Avenue A. This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.